So my doubt started when I heard a sermon at church about how God hardened Pharaoh's heart, and so it made me question whether or not I had a choice in choosing God. So that's where it actually started, and from there I had a lot of questions that just kept popping up, and it went for about 3 or 4 years. And during that time I was serving at Red Group, which is year 6 to year 8 youth on Sundays, and I had a group of year 6 girls at the time, and it was really I guess hard to sort of go every Sunday and encourage these girls about who Christ is when I personally didn't believe in it or ultimately was struggling with who Christ was. So that made it quite hard. What was helpful along the way was a few things. One thing was my friends who were there for me. They listened, and I think that gave me a lot of encouragement. Even just a few years down the track, them coming back and asking me the question how I was going with my doubts, that was very encouraging to know that they were listening to me. They didn't have to say anything, they didn't have to have the right words to say, but I think knowing that they were there for me made me realise that I wasn't doing it by myself. At the time there was a student minister, and he was facing doubts during Bible college as well, so he was where I was at the time, and he was helpful. He had made sure that we would deal with it, and he just kept asking me those hard questions and really pressed on to some issues that I didn't actually want to deal with and I didn't want to bring up. And so it was like just taking a band-aid off the wound, and even though it was painful at the time to go through, I think it was very helpful to actually speak about it and being honest about it. And so that really helped me during that time. Having someone who had gone through what I'd gone through and just knew what to do and what to say or what not to say, so that was helpful. During that time I actually went on a trip to Israel, and a part of it was because I would love to experience what Israel looked like and the lifestyle there, but at the same time I had a lot of questions that maybe I thought this trip would help me deal with, and I saw a lot of the history of it and I loved it. I loved being able to have the Bible open and seeing all these things, but it didn't really actually do anything with my faith and with my heart. Being so close to where these holy places were, I didn't feel any close to God, even if I was sitting in my room. So I really loved the experience and I enjoyed it, but in terms of the questions that I had and my relationship with God, in all honesty, it didn't really do anything for me. So that was unfortunate for that. So looking back, I realised that even though I was able to have those great experiences, going on a trip to Israel and having friends that were there for me, having people who would really dig deep into figuring out what the issues were in my heart. Ultimately it was a heart issue. For whatever reason, I just couldn't get to a point of just accepting that it was true, whatever it was. And so I don't know if that was just pride, I don't know if it was just discontentment, whatever it was just it wasn't real to me. So I just felt, looking back, that was what it was just a heart issue. And I think the first thing that I really wanted to do was actually pray about that. I know that sounds weird, but it was just asking God that He would do something with my heart, and pleading with Him to make me feel something for Him. I don't know why it took me such a long time to actually do that, to actually come to Him and know that I could run to Him instead of just running away from Him all the time, and seeing that I had no excuse. I had great brothers and sisters around me I had God's word, I had everything that I need to know about who He was, but for some reason my heart just wasn't accepting it. So I think the strange thing about my doubts was that even though through them I wanted for God to do something with my heart and pleading Him to do something with my heart, through those prayers, I think they became the answers to my prayers, to want to know Him more. I guess having those moments where I was praying and desperately needing Him were the moments where I was hungering for Him all the more. So I guess the strange thing was God answered those prayers through my desperation of needing Him. Even though I still have doubts, I know that where I am now is not where I was, and that's a better place.